If you've been trying to lose weight for years, there's a good chance that you're not actually lazy. It's just maybe the strategy that you've been going down wasn't right for you. Now, if you are in this scenario, listen to this to find out the 5 fat loss myths that have actually been holding you back. Chances are, right, there's going to be at least one of them that stands out to you. And I'm going to explain it a little bit. Myth number 1 is the fact that you think you've got to cut out carbs. Carbs don't make you fat. Overconsumption of carbs make you fat. What may be holding you back is potentially the timing of when you're having the carbohydrates, how they're digesting, and what type of carbohydrates you're actually eating. Is it slow digesting, fast digesting? When are you eating them? Are you having them pre-workout, post-workout, first thing in the morning? Is it bloating you? You're having them pre-bed. Again, is it bloating you, affecting sleep, affecting digestion, which is then putting a bit of a pause on your fat loss phase? There's all these different variables, but you definitely don't need to cut out carbs completely. Myth number 2, that you need more motivation. Now, you don't need motivation. I say to myself and my clients, the one thing that differentiates people who continue to make progress is the fact that when you're not motivated, you still tick the boxes and get it done. Because if you just rely on motivation, you're probably gonna take 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Some weeks, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. Because you're that reliant on motivation moving the needle forward for you. We can't always rely on motivation. We all know that motivation goes through peaks and troughs. So as long as you keep ticking those boxes over a period of time, then you're going to progress. So don't just rely on motivation. Myth number 3 of people, for whatever reason, thinking that you need to train every day. Again, one of my sayings is, you can only train as hard as what you can recover. And if you're burying yourself into the ground every single day, then you're never going to recover. Your muscles are never going to recover. Your CNS is never going to recover. And from that, you're never going to be able to give training full beans, which in effect, if you think about it logically, what builds muscle? It's obviously nutrition paired with training. And if food's fine but training's just half-assed, then you're only going to progress so much. And some sessions, they're going to be half-assed, and then the calories that you consumed aren't going to be put to good use, etc, etc. And if you're listening to this, I know you're half educated, so you get the point I'm trying to get across here. So make sure that you are implementing some form of rest, or even if it's just active recovery. And now when I say active recovery, that could be hitting a step target, doing a little bit of cardio, just nothing too strenuous that's going to put your body through the rounds again. Myth number 4, the fact that you think one meal ruins everything. Now, a lot of my clients, I'd say 99 out of 100 times, all of my clients get a weekly off-plan meal. Unless it's in some sort of prep scenario or it's getting close to a photo shoot. Now, one meal, it's not going to ruin everything. One off-plan meal every single day that puts you in a calorie surplus, obviously that's going to ruin a bit of a fat loss phase. But don't just look at having, if you go out for a meal with your partner, family, friends, whatever, don't think to yourself, oh, my week's worth of progress is gone here. You can make a count for that. You can create a calorie float. You can just look at it as though the training session the day after is going to be pretty mega, to be honest with you. So just don't get in the mindset that one meal is going to ruin everything. One off-plan meal every day potentially will, depending on the calories, obviously. Like an off-plan salad every day, like we know olive oil and shit, that's not going to do a thing. But get out of the mindset where if you think if one thing goes wrong, then everything's been ruined. Trust me on that one. Myth number 5 is that the scale tells a whole story. Honestly, I can't tell you how many times a week I have to say, fuck the scale, because there's so many variables involved in this. So for example, it's the water you consume, how sleep's been. If you've got a certain amount of food in your stomach and that food volume is in your stomach and laying there a little bit dormant, what's your salt intake been like? What's stress like? If you're a female, what's the hormonal changes? What phase are you in? There's all these different variables to consider when it comes to what the scale is actually telling you. It's just one data reference point. Whereas look at the little wins, for example, is the watch on your wrist getting a little bit looser? Is your t-shirt feeling a little bit better in the right places? One of my little things is when I've lost quite a bit of weight is my trainers, my footwear gets a little bit looser, and my hat, I've got a big head, but fat comes off my head and I have to go down a button on my hat. Likewise with the belt and all that sort of stuff. So don't just be so heavy reliant on the scale. Now, I hope you found this video useful, and I can guarantee that at least one of these is going to be relatable to you. So let me know your thoughts. Don't be caught up by this myth bullshit. Keep progressing. Click like, share and subscribe, I guess. Thank you.